Hello and welcome back. I'm Christy, the voice behind Crafty Christy's Creations Silhouette Studio Tutorials, which is a subset of Crafty Christy's Creations how-to videos. This is the place to find step-by-step directions on how to do all the things in Silhouette Studio. Whether you're a beginner or needing a little refresher, this is the place for you. So grab your computer and open Silhouette Studio. It's time to dive into another episode. Alrighty, so I am using the Professional Wine Taster SVG, well, actually Silhouette Studio file, and you can download this from my website if you have not done so already. And we are going to use this to make our very first heat transfer vinyl project. This is a good one to use because it is all one color, which takes a lot of the guesswork and timing out of everything for you. So if you click on it here, you see everything is grouped together, which is exactly what we want. And just because I'm going to be a little picky and I'm going to show you, if we ungroup, it gives you some options here that you could come in here and you could turn this into a 2-color project by changing the color of that if you so wanted. But for this, we are just going to leave everything as one color. And then the only thing I am really wanting to do is I want to scooch all of that up just a little bit. I'm going to group this. And I think I decided I want kind of all of these words. Let's make sure that I don't really like how far they are, so I'm going to keep scooting this one up a little more. And I'm going to ungroup again. Well, guess not. Well, we can release the compound path, and you'll see it'll fill in all those pieces, but we can fix that. So first I'm going to take this one. I'm going to right click, make compound path. And then I'm going to take this word up here and make compound path. This is extra work just because I want these to be a little bit closer together. Looking at the space I have to work with, I think I like the look of it a little bit closer. And then I'm just going to grab all 3 pieces and I'm going to make sure that they're equally spaced up and down. And then I want to make sure that they are aligned. There we go, they're center aligned. And now that everything is back where I want it, I'm going to group the entire thing back together. And now I'm going to make it to the size that I want. And I'm going to lock here, and I want mine to be exactly 8 inches wide. Alright, so that's all the fixing I have to do with it. So now the next thing, I'm going to pull it off my mat. Because we're doing heat transfer vinyl, there is a carrier sheet that comes with it, and the design needs to be reversed or mirrored in order to cut it. So I'm going to come over here to the rotation tab, and I'm going to mirror almost back onto my mat. It doesn't matter which direction you mirror, left or right. And then you just want to get that on your mat where you want it. And then the other thing I like to do, because I'm sending a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 vinyl, I like to throw a little box around my design. So that way when I'm weeding everything out, I don't have to waste anything. And for this one, it's pretty much going to take up the entire thing. So I'm just basically giving me a line at the bottom. Otherwise, you have to go in there and cut the design from the sheet first, and I find it hard to see where the cut lines are, and I tend to cut into my design when I do that. So this is just a trick that I do to save me from having to reprint things because I screwed it up. I'm just going to kind of center this in there a little bit. And when it looks good and you're happy with it, we're going to go over to the send panel. And you can see anything that has the red line around it is what it's going to cut. And I know for the vinyl that I'm using, I need to use the flocked heat transfer setting. And I have the Cameo 2, so I'm still on the good old ratchet blade. And these are my cut settings. You've got this little button here. If this was a more intricate design, I would highly recommend hitting the overcut. But this is pretty standard, so I'm going to leave it alone. And just to let you know as well, you have this test cut button over here, and you can use these arrows to move it around. So if I wanted to test cut this, I would move it down and like test cut here where it's not going to be in my design. And then that way I make sure that my settings are correct. But I have used this vinyl before, and I keep track of what the settings are for each vinyl type that I have. And I know that these are right, so I don't need to test cut. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut. So when everything's ready, we're going to go ahead and get our paper ready, and then we'll continue on. Okay, so let's look at the vinyl here. So as you can see, this is the shiny side and this is the dull side. So the reason we are mirroring our design is because when you set it on your craft, the shiny side is what's going to be up because there's no sticky adhesive on here like normal vinyl. So we cut it on the back side. And if you really need to check, what you can do is peel a little corner, and then you know that clear piece, that's your carrier sheet, and then this is your vinyl. Some of the colors and different brands I've used have been really difficult to see which side is the right one, and I've spent a lot of time wasting vinyl because I didn't cut on the correct side. So carrier sheet, shiny side down onto your mat. I'm just going to line it up on there. I've already set up my ratchet blade to what I need. Need to clean my mat. I'll show you guys how to do that in a video soon. All right, once I get that ready, we're gonna hit load. Okay, I've got all my cut settings ready to go in the machine. I've already loaded my mat with the vinyl, and I've got my settings over here that are already chosen. We talked about using this. We're doing one pass. Again, you have your test cut here if needed. I already know what settings I'm going to do, so I'm going to skip that, and I'm just going to come down here and hit send. And then, like I was saying, Silhouette's really awesome about reminding you, do you need to mirror the design, or is it already mirrored? So mine is already mirrored, so I'm going to say send as is. Once you do that, it will start cutting. So we're all cut out, and now I'm just going to weed the vinyl. You can see my weeding box that's there. And my vinyl, I was actually a little longer than 8.5, so I just ripped off the extra, and then I'm just going to cut off and save the rest, and we're ready to roll. I'm centering my design on my tote bag, and then I'm going to take the iron to press and hold for 30 seconds on each spot, and then I'll carefully pull off the carrier sheet, and then I'm going to put my cloth back down and go over it one more time for good measure. Congratulations! You have just finished your first heat transfer vinyl project. Give yourself a pat on the back. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this tutorial valuable. If you did, click like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Silhouette Studio tutorials. If you are interested in purchasing the design used in this video, check out the link in the description below. Happy silhouetting! Until next time, with love, Crafty Christy.